the wind is. As a matter of fact, there's quite a wind shadow right around us here in our vantage point. What the boats are trying to do right now is they're trying to line up on starboard tack, and they're doing a pretty good job, but they're fighting a current. They're fighting a flood, and basically it's pushing them not where they want to go. Excuse the line, and in fact, we just had the start of the 56th running of the Swiftsure International Yacht Race, and I believe we have an all clear. From my vantage point, everything looks all clear, and yes, I've just had confirmation from the starting crew. Race Chairman Jerry Guest in charge of watching the line and making sure that everyone is clear, and in fact it is. So we're underway. There are so many boats that it's even difficult at this stage to pick them out. There's just a swarm of white sails, let me tell you. It's an awesome sight.
Now that flag should come down in about 10 seconds, John Abel.
Yes, I wanted to know, actually from Mike out on the course, you know, in these light conditions, maneuvering the boats is very tricky. Are they having a little trouble managing to avoid each other in the light air?
Well, first I'll just tell you that the blue flag just came down, so we're officially 1 minute before the start. The boats are in fact pretty stable. There's just wisps of wind coming through the line. The center part of the line probably has got the most wind now. It seems to be very light at the pin end over by Cuttyhunk. On our end of the line, it's also very light.
There's the whistle.
Right on time.
Yep, we now have the official start for Flattery. There is at least one boat over early. There may be two. They're down at the other end of the line, and of course there's race committee officials on both vessels that are helping to call over earlies. They will likely not do a general recall because there are only a couple of vessels over early, probably pretty clean, I would say. I'm sighting the line right now, and we've probably got 10 to 15 vessels that have actually crossed, 100 to follow. It's quite amazing.
Oh, there you go. There you go, Mike. You want to give us a call on the one if you can start?
Well, first of all, I think we've got probably 50% Flattery boats and 50% Juan-de-Fuca boats on the line right now. The vessel that's closest to me, who's a Juan-de-Fuca boat, is 77709, which is a San Juan 28 called Sisu. In fact, hit the line about 10 seconds behind the horn and the flag, which I think is pretty impressive. She's got a bit of air and seems to be pretty well gaining on anybody else. I'm sighting the line right now from my vantage point, and in fact, time and time again, it's the committee boat end of the line that seems to be favored. And the multi-hull race is off. There's 10 boats, and I can tell you, having just said what I said about how fast these multi-hulls are, I'll take it all back because they're all just sitting here drifting along. They're all behind the line. Not a single multi-hull has crossed the line yet.
Light winds would hinder the beginning of the race, making this year's start one of the slowest in history. Downtown Victoria was bustling with the excitement of the Harbour Festival. Government Street was blocked off to vehicle traffic to give street performers an open stage.
Look, listen, stop, look, listen.
Back to the middle. Hiya! Now, time for his big finale. Everyone count the tree. 1, 2, 3. Hoi, 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 hoi. Yay! He did it! Give a big clap, everybody. Let's hear it for the flea. Come on.
Sprinkle on the magic dust. Do my own sound effects. Turn it over. Open it up. Open it up. Go ahead, open it up. 2 bunnies and the audience goes wild.
Aboard HMCS Oriole, the light winds were cause for frustration. Winds eventually picked up, but it wasn't to last long. As the sun dipped into the Pacific, the water became quiet and magical. Oriole, there's still work to be done.
Good.
Till 16.
One more.
Till 16.
One more.
Till 16.
Hey, well, turn up.
By Sunday morning, it was apparent that there would be no speed records set this year.
Well, we're hopeful to see some finishers before we're off our shift at 6 o'clock tonight, but so far, all we've heard is that the boats are down in the Souk area. And we are hopeful that the flood tide will bring them in and that maybe they'll get some westerly wind to bring them home. But it doesn't look promising from here.
One by one, those yachts that had dropped out of the race began to trickle past the finish line. Finally, at 4 p.m. Sunday, the first yacht still under sail rounded the breakwater. After 31 hours, Cheeky Monkey, a multi-hull from the Bellingham Yacht Club, was the first official finisher.
You're the skipper?
That's right.
All right, congratulations. First boat home, a big upset victory in the multi-hull division.
Yeah, it was actually. I think Running with Scissors was supposed to win.
Well, it looks like you guys are pretty far ahead. How do you feel about that?
Well, we're pretty excited.
Well, that's great. Well, congratulations.
We didn't expect it.
What was the hardest part?
Just staying awake.
I'm very tired and I'm a rookie. This is my first Swiftsure and it's real nice to win the first one. I don't know how often that's been done, but that was great.
What do you figure is what was your winning strategy to get such a decisive win over your competition?
Well, this year we followed the instructions. You see, Swiftsure gives you a little chart and it says start here, go here, up here, down here, and finish. And this is the first year we did that. Every other year we followed our own master plan and it hasn't been very successful.
So your strategy this year was basically just to follow the rules.
Exactly.
So when did you? What was the high point of the journey for you?
Well, last night after we went around the mark, it got dark. There was 10 to 12 foot seas with winds blowing about 15 to 20, and the boat was going 18 to 20 knots, surfing down the waves, and the full moon was out, and it was just a riot. It was really exciting.
Swiftsure race officials were just as happy to see the finishers as the finishers were to be finished.
Congratulations!
Is that going to be enough?
Hey. Despite the lack of wind, most crews were in high spirits as they arrived back at the inner harbor. Time Bandit was first over the line in the Cape Flattery race.
We had the secret sail, and it was the right sail at the right time. And we were in the right place, and we really just shot out in front of a lot of people and got through race rocks.
This is the first monohull in the Flattery race to cross the finish line.
Line honors for the Wanda Fuca race went to Red Dwarf from Vancouver.
We seemed to hit the right side of the race rocks. When the tide came in, we went to the outside and shot the eddy on the way in to the rocks and then just threw up the kite, and it seemed to be enough to get us through the tide up. And we looked back and the rest of the fleets were with their mains only up and their anchors on, so that kind of worked. We knew we had an advantage. Then we went out to Column Bay, rounded that at what, 12:25, got out about 8 miles towards the finish, and wind shut off. We drifted 10 miles back, waited for the wind, finally edged our way back up, and then the wind picked up 6 miles out of the finish, and we just rocketed home.
The Lightship Classic line honors went to Rage from Portland, Oregon.
Anyway, let's hear it for Rage. This is a tremendous achievement. Again. And again. And again, it goes on and on. Here we go.
Well done. Thank you, guys. It's an honor to come up and sail with you. You put a great race on, and this is just more than we could hope for. We went out there and sailed around. Tactically, we did some things we shouldn't have done, and persevered, stuck it out, got through the light stuff, and snuck back in first. So once again, it's a great race, and I'm glad to be on this plaque one more time.
Well, do come back again.
Thank you. I shall. Yeah.
Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!
Early finishers from Victoria included Kotuku, Corsair, Lone Ranger, Sauterelle, Cert, Ugachaka, Occam's Racer, Alien, and First Sight.
Swiftsure 1999, the last one of the millennium, will certainly go down into the record books, Bill. How so?
Well, I think it will, Mike, and it'll go down in the record books as being one of the more challenging of the Swiftsures. It's often quite easy to sail a hard and fast race. The weather can be quite forgiving at that point, but when the things get light and the currents are as strong as they were this year, it takes a very tenacious crew to hang in there and do well.
Of course, this was clearly a driftsure, as they like to say, and I don't know, in my memory, I can't remember one that is this light with this many withdrawals because the time limits are running out and people have to get back to their lives. Is your recollection any more current than that?
Well, not in recent years. I guess in recent years, this has been one of the slower ones. We go back historically, of course. We set a time limit of Monday for a very good reason, and of course, in the early Swiftsures, they all finished on Monday. It was only with the advent of faster boats that we got into finishing on Sunday, and of course the last few years with good winds and very fast boats, we've become a little bit spoiled.
So of course next year is Swiftsure 2000, so the first one of the new millennium. What are we going to look forward to for Swiftsure 2000?
Well, I think the odds will have with us that we'll have good wind. I think we get a year like this every 5 or 6 years, and it's sort of part of the history of Swiftsure that we have these things. I think the racers are all feeling pretty good, and the city's been great for them. They've had a good reception here. The club has been great. The Royal Victoria Yacht Club has again gone way out of their way to put this event on with hundreds of volunteers and many people putting long hours. We think about the few boats coming across the line. We don't think about the 50 people that are manning all the stations and doing everything to make this a professionally, run race. And of course, just the Inner Harbor this weekend has been incredible. So I think by and large, they've all had a good weekend.
Our congratulations again to the host yacht club for the Swiftsure International Yacht Race, and that's the Royal Victoria Yacht Club. What a tremendous job they did. Hundreds of volunteers were involved behind the scenes, and it looks as though everybody had a fabulous time. As well, in the harbor, the Harbor Festival was a true delight. So we look forward to next year, the year 2000, and another terrific Swiftsure International Yacht Race. For Plugged In, I'm Daphne Good.
To Victoria and to Swiftsure.
Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
Swiftsure wasn't the only thing on this weekend, as Victorians went on a partnership walk, and next year they can walk